Hi, my name is Alex and I welcome you to today's video. A Plague Tale: Innocence was always one of the games I hoped would find a late port to the Nintendo Switch. This wish has now been fulfilled with a cloud version. In the France of 1348 you take over the fate of 16-year-old Amicia de Rune. While you initially steer her on a walk through the autumnal forest or roam with her through the picturesque estate of the de Runes, events soon come to a head. The Inquisition ravages the castle in search of Amicia's 5-year-old brother Hugo, who has been afflicted by a mysterious illness and has therefore spent most of his life in the infirmary with his mother. While the Inquisition brutally slaughters every court servant, the two children manage to escape and set out to find the alchemist Laurentius, who can supposedly help Hugo. The estranged brother and sister are suddenly alone and have the Inquisition breathing down their necks. In addition, the plague is raging in southern France. There is a plague of rats and the 100 Years' War is already underway. Fortunately, however, Amicia and Hugo not only encounter rats, diseased people and soldiers, but also a few allies who stand by them in their adventure. The story of A Plague Tale: Innocence quickly picks up speed and remains exciting until the end. At the same time, the game never feels stretched out. Each chapter continues the story and contributes to the character development of Amicia, Hugo and some secondary characters. The two children quickly grow on the player, as they were written comprehensibly and with a lot of sensitivity. Amicia is not a defenseless girl, but she is repeatedly, understandably overwhelmed with the situation. Nevertheless, she does everything she can to keep her little brother alive. Hugo, on the other hand, is buffeted by his illness and a bit intimidated by the world, but also fascinated by it. At times, the little fellow doesn't realize the seriousness of the situation. In addition to action passages and the constant sense of threat, A Plague Tale repeatedly takes the time to let the characters interact with each other and also gives them light-hearted moments. When Hugo sees frogs for the first time in his life, or they both take advantage of the echo in an old ruin, these are nice little moments that contribute a lot to character connection. At the beginning, Amicia has a slingshot, but it doesn't stand a chance in open combat. Therefore, distract the enemies by throwing stones at metal parts and sneak past them. If you encounter rats, however, you'll have to make sure to stay in the light if you don't want to end up on the rodent's menu. To do this, light fireplaces with a torch, quickly run through the creatures with a burning stick, or loosen more fire containers from their anchors with a well-aimed shot from your slingshot. In addition, there are always smaller passages where you have to run away from attackers or move crates to reach new locations. These gameplay basics remain the same, but are further expanded as the puzzles become a bit more complex and the enemies grow stronger. You can use collected materials to improve Amicia's slingshot at workbenches and turn it into a deadly weapon. If an enemy spots you, you can stop them with a headshot. However, this only applies to enemies without helmets. To overpower enemies in heavy armor, you'll get more options. Amicia learns a bit of alchemy from her allies and can then craft new weapons and tools, provided she has the resources she needs. Although you can also simply shoot some enemies, the fights become more and more like puzzles. These aren't super hard head scratchers, but often enough you have to put in a little effort or time your actions precisely. This keeps the gameplay fresh at all times. However, A Plague Tale: Innocence is also very linear. Only in a few places are there multiple possible solutions. From a technical point of view, A Plague Tale: Innocence must of course be evaluated differently than usual. The game is a cloud version on the Switch, which means it doesn't actually run on the console, but is only streamed to it. With a sufficiently fast connection, you get an extremely good looking game. Despite my solid connection, there were still noticeable lags from time to time during my playthrough. Sometimes the game automatically switched to performance mode, which caused the resolution to drop significantly. Still, it has to be said that the game would never look as good on the Switch without the cloud. So let's come to a conclusion. Broken down to gameplay alone, A Plague Tale: Innocence is only good. Everything works and is suitably implemented, but it's not particularly deep either. Combined with its thrilling, great story, however, it becomes a real blockbuster. Asobo Studio manages to tell an exciting story from front to back around two great comprehensible characters, conveying not only the cruelties of the Middle Ages, but also certain values. Nevertheless, the rating turns out lower than many will have expected. I had fun with the game on the Switch, but persistent problems with the cloud version, despite a good connection, lead me to conclude that I would have preferred a native port, which of course would have looked much worse. Therefore, I can only recommend everyone to play the game, but on another platform. For these reasons I rate A Plague Tale Innocence, the cloud version for the Nintendo Switch, a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. If you liked it, we would be very happy about a like and a subscription. Or if you're interested in getting early access to our future reviews, feel free to visit our Patreon page.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.